Hello everybody, welcome to the Smart Student channel. C is simple. In our previous video, we have already seen about the types of the languages, that is low level and middle level as well as high level languages. We have discussed about the differences between all these three types of languages and with examples. Right now in this video, we're going to learn about why C is named as C, not any other letter, because there is a very important question we have to come to know. Before answering this question, ancestors of the C language. So what are the previous programming languages that are available before the Dennis Ritchie has come to develop this type of programming language? I can say the ancestors are quite. I can start with ALGOL. The ALGOL usually stands for algorithmic language. So this has been developed by international group in the year of 1960. After this programming language, the CPL programming language has come into existence. That is, CPL stands for Combined Programming Language. So in the year of mid 1950s, after developing of this language, so BCPL has been introduced. The BCPL is nothing but a basic CPL, basic combined programming language. So this BCPL has come into existence in the year of 1967. A developer name, that is a Martin Richards, and after that the B language came into existence. This B language has been developed in the year of 1970 by Ken Thompson. One programming language is a quite advancement of the previous programming language. After developing this B language, so the next C language. So as already told, that C language has been developed by Dennis Ritchie, the famous personality, in the year of 1972, I can say. That's why the C language has been named as C. Next thing we have to come to notice about that, what are the special features of the C language? So here is the data I have already typed. You can have a look at this. C is a general purpose programming language. Why? The languages that are existed before the C language. So there is a COBOL, that is a common business oriented language. If you observe this COBOL, this is specifically useful for business specific domain. So after that, if you go for Fortran, that is a formula translation, this programming language was used for research and development as well as in the mathematical domain. So I can also say this, a Fortran is also quite useful for extensive formula calculation. Whereas if you take the programming language like a Lisp, that is a list processing, it is useful in the case of artificial intelligence, I can say, in short AI. So if you come into notice about all these things, each and every programming language has constraint to its own domain, whereas our C language is not like that. It can work with any domain, I can say. That's why C has been called as a general purpose programming language. Coming to the second case, I can say procedural programming language. In this case, the programming language consisting of the functions. C has followed the top-down approach procedure. I can say that in C there are functions. What is meant by a function? That is set of statements which perform a specific task is called as a function in C language. For example, I can say that a function such as a POW of x comma y. We can discuss about all these things later. This is a simple function which calculate the value of x to the power of y. If you just place the x comma y values in this function, that this function will return a value of x to the power of y. So similarly, we can use several functions, several predefined functions are well available in C language. That's why C is also called as a functional oriented language. If a problem is there, we can just split into the types of functions, and that's why there is a quite good procedure can be followed not only in the flow of execution but also in the splitting of a problem into several functions. That's why C is called as a procedural programming language. Coming to the next case, that is structured programming language. In the case of structured programming language, it is well defined, syntax rules are quite simple, and also with good efficiency rate is there. And C also follows SSI, any programming language which follows sequence, selection and iteration. Sequence in the sense that should follow some particular flow of execution. Selection in the sense that it should allow us to decide to go for the decision making, that is called selection. Iteration in the sense that looping. So wherever we want a particular block to be executed again and again and again, at that time we can go for looping method, that is called as iteration. So whatever be the programming language that quite follows this sequence, selection and iteration, I can say it as a structured programming language. So that's why C follows all these three things. C is also called as structured programming language. Coming to the next case. C is a case sensitive programming language. Yes, in the C there is ASCII values. I will try to elaborate with the program in the next session, but let me try to tell you about what is ASCII. ASCII stands for American Standard Code for Information Interchange. C is very strict in the case, whether it may be lowercase or uppercase. According to the C language, this one is quite different from this one. But as per English, for the same. But when coming to the C language, it treats small a as different and capital A as different. This can be differentiated based upon this ASCII. It means for each and every alphabet internally there are some predefined codes are there. Depending upon that ASCII codes, it tries to differentiate the small a from the capital A. So we will write a program what is ASCII, and so you should be cautious about this case sensitive. Then C is a free-form programming language. So you have written a C program. That C program might be involved 20 lines of program might you have written. If you give the source code for me, I can write the same 20 lines as 40 lines. If I leave each and every space for each and every line, I can write your 20 line program as a 40 line program. So in the editor, anyone can use the screen on their own. So you can go line by line also. That's not at all wrong. So the C compiler understands it, it will execute that. So the only rule you have to follow is your code must be syntactically error free. Then automatically your code will be executed and the output will be generated at whatever be the format you write. Coming to the case of robust, C is a robust. Why? For example, in a common business oriented language like COBOL, so if I did two errors in my program, then it can show only that two errors. It means there are two errors existed in your program, so try to overcome that two errors. But if I do 100 lines of program, if it just show me two errors, I can't scan the program completely with my eyes from top to bottom for these two errors. It will be quite different for me. Whereas in the case of our C language, if you would do 1000 lines of program also, if there is any error persist, our C will show the line number where the error exists. It will show the reason why the error has occurred. It will show the name, it means the complete details of that one, and it shows the remedy. Remedy in the sense, so what you have to correct if you want to overcome that error. C is quite robust because of this feature. And coming to the case portable, yes, C is a cross-platform. It's a machine independent, I can say. Machine independent in the sense that, so for example, if you write 100 programs in your computer, if you want to run it on your friend's PC also, then I can easily copy and send it to my friend's PC such that I can easily work on another one also without fail. So that's why C is a portable language. So similarly, Java is also quite platform independent. So here are the some of the features of the C language. Before understanding or before coding, these are the some of the important basics that we have to understand such that we can enjoy the essence and the cream of the C language. Thank you all. So see you in the next session.